With all of the incredible advancements in camera technology in recent years, there has never been a better time to be a filmmaker. You can pick up just about any modern camera and create absolutely stunning visuals. People get lost in debates about whether gear matters or does not, and the truth is, they're missing the point. What really matters is the experience and the creative vision of the person utilizing the gear. There is no such thing as the perfect camera. There is always going to be the next best thing. Doesn't help that all of your favorite filmmaking channels feed the need to upgrade gear with every new generation. Which leads me to the main talking point of this video, the Sony FX3, and why the vast majority of you don't need a better camera, period. So let me review my past 2.5 years with this camera. To give some important context up front, let me clearly state that all of this information comes from someone who earns his money shooting with this camera and mainly works as a solo operator. What I'm specifically looking for can be boiled down to these 3 things. Let's start by talking about the elephant in the room, the multi-million-dollar blockbuster, The Creator. About 95% of this movie was shot on an FX3. Why? The main driver was simply its versatility, as stated by cinematographer Greg Fraser. As someone who loves to move fast and freely without the necessity to rig up the camera every time, the FX3's form factor is ideal. You can always pile on more parts and weight if you feel like it. What is impressive to this day is the FX3's ISO performance. Dual base ISO at 800 and 12,800 when shooting an S-Log3. This camera can literally see in the dark. No problem if you don't have powerful lighting equipment at hand or are at the mercy of natural lighting conditions. While I transition more and more towards manual lenses for creative projects, it can't be denied that having great autofocus is a big plus in many situations. Whether you're shooting interviews or do a lot of gimbal work as a solo operator. Sony's made some recent improvements with their AI autofocus tech in the newer cameras. That being said, the FX3's autofocus used to be great and, well, still is. If you've worked in this field for long enough, you'll likely have come across a piece of equipment failing on you. Overheating problems, drained batteries, or corrupted memory cards. The FX3 excels in combating exactly those points. The inbuilt fan keeps the camera running in hot environments or during long takes. Never thought this would be important until I started doing long corporate interviews and my B-cam failed on me multiple times, while the FX3 kept recording without fault. The second card slot also ensures you don't lose any footage, should one of the cards corrupt. This usually isn't a problem for smaller projects, but could be make or break when working with large customers. I used to shoot on a Fuji X-T3 back in the day. Great camera, but terrible battery life. Naturally, I looked to others when upgrading to the Sony FX3 and wanted to see what people in the industry do to not worry about battery life. You already know the answer. I have strong opinions about V-mount batteries for solo operators, and I'm going to leave you with this. V-mounts are quite versatile, but they're also expensive and require costly, sometimes bulky parts to be mounted to the camera. Might just be me, but I prefer the pragmatic option of getting a few more batteries and swapping those when empty. Been on many shoots that last an entire day and never needed more than 3 fully charged batteries. Ask yourself, what is it that makes a camera look good? It's not the resolution, not necessarily. Footage used to look sharp on high-resolution monitors before 6 or 8K recording. What's much more important is dynamic range, as well as bit depth. The latitude between light and dark, as well as the amount of color information the sensor can capture. Sony states that the FX3 has 15 plus stops of dynamic range. Many lab tests rate it to be a bit lower than that, but let me tell you that it is plenty for real-world shoots. It can also record in 10-bit color, which makes an enormous difference when color grading. Most of the grades you've been seeing in this video wouldn't have been possible with 8-bit recordings. Many of these factors aren't exclusive to the FX3, and many of them can be done equally good or better by other cameras. What makes this one special is the fact that it combines all of them. You can toss it in your travel bag or rig it up with all the bells and whistles. You can shoot in extreme low light, choose to use its great autofocus. It doesn't overheat, has great battery life, and produces an image that is good enough for Hollywood. The FX3 certainly isn't the best camera out there, but it is definitely the best camera for me.